a healer, a life coach. I specialize in healing the dark arts and healing ancestral patterns and things that make us go bump in the night and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Right? So anyway, I'm just filling in. I'm just kind of winging it today. So the gal that was supposed to be up here is supposed to be talking about self-love, radical self-love, right? So radical self-love is a beautiful thing because you know what? That number one, you're all here. So you're here for a reason. You're here to learn. You're here to grow. You're here to love yourself in a different way, right? So forgive me if I'm winging it. If you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to raise your hand because I love an interactive conversation with people. So radical self-love, self-acceptance. How many of you can fully accept yourself? That's a hard one. That really is a hard one, especially in a society where you have programming, people saying, you know, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. And who says? Society? Who's society? We're all society, right? So therefore, we can all have and create our own radical self-love. Self-love means to me taking care of myself, mind, body, spirit. Grew up in an alcoholic, drug-infested world. It wasn't a good situation. But it wasn't until after I had my oldest daughter, my firstborn baby, that I decided, nope, I'm doing things differently because I am not raising my child like how I was raised. Not that it was intentional, but when you don't know what you don't know, you know, you end up going with the flow and you end up going in directions that you shouldn't go in. Um, so therefore, I started my healing session back in 1994. And it's been a journey. It's been a big journey. Started with the counseling, started with, you know, taking care of myself, taking care of my kids. Then my counselor at the time, she says, you know, you need to go see my neighbor down the hall because there are a few things that she couldn't figure out. But she was into Reiki. She did Reiki, but she said, nope, you need to go see my neighbor down the hall. And that's how I got started, seeing my teachers. And it's been kind of history now for the last 10 plus years. So it's been such a beautiful journey, and it brings in a lot of the self-love. I learned how to love myself. I learned what self-love was. Didn't know what it was. Was never taught self-love, you know. Um, so therefore, I found out that I absolutely love the energy work. And I found out that when my teacher started teaching it, I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I love getting my hands on people in a good way because I know it's helped me so much. Radical self-love or even self-love altogether is taking care of your, like I said, your mind, body, spirit. Your mind. Let's start there. How many people have ruminating thoughts going through their mind all the time? The negativity, the you should do this, you should do that. Why? You know, because society says so, or because you know, that's just, you're on autopilot. You know, until you are conscious and you want to become conscious of your thoughts, it's a huge game changer. Being conscious of your thoughts is, of my opinion, the first act of self-love because it's going to change how you feel. It's going to change your energy field. It's going to change a lot of things. When you decide, nope, I'm not going to be beating myself up anymore for stupid little things that I had no control over, is a big game changer because that way, therefore, I should say, you don't, you're not, how should I say this? You're not, well, besides beating yourself up, you're not stuck in the muck of the negativity. Negative energy can live within us and around us. As you know, it can be people that have it stuck on them or they ooze it and they don't even realize they ooze it. But yet then again, if you recognize it and you say, no, I'm not going to take your stuff, I'm not going to claim your negativity, you know, that's huge. You know, and unfortunately, we have to separate ourselves from people that we love, even though we don't, you know, want to, right? So, but that is a great way to start with self-love. Is controlling your thoughts, controlling, you know, who you're around. That's not good for you, even though it'll hurt sometimes. But once you go through that pain, it's well worth it, and you understand it, and you can accept them as you accept yourself as they are. So my thing that I do as a healer, I help heal ancestral timelines. A lot of people don't realize A lot of negativity comes up through our ancestral timelines. Stuff that we don't know that we even carry. It's actually in our DNA. We carry up to 13 generations of our ancestor stuff. Um, whether that's loss, trauma, shocks, wounds, whatever, sometimes cycles will repeat. Trauma will repeat in ancestral timelines, in families. If somebody doesn't come across and heal it and say, nope, I'm going to stop this cycle because I don't want to, my kids to live through it. I don't want to live through it anymore. It's a beautiful thing. And any work that we do on our ancestral timeline now, we heal up to 7 generations forward. We help our kids, our grandkids, and everybody before us. Everything is energy. Excuse me. Everything, everyone is energy. I do house clearings too, so your environment is super important as far as loving who you are, and it's because our houses are extensions of who we are. Must be in this. Um, Acceptance, self-acceptance. When you heal the negative patterns in your life, the negativity, the belief systems are huge. What are your belief systems? And the first place you can look at is your ancestry, your family. What were your belief systems? Well, a lot of times we come out of our families with our parents' belief systems. We don't realize we can create our own belief systems. And that's huge, 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 huge. And that can really start the process of moving forward on your healing journey. The body. Our bodies are very dense. Our bodies hold on to negative energy. Um, in the 3D world that we live in, the more we hang on to in our bodies, that's what creates disease, right? Anxiety, depression, locks in that negative trauma. If anybody's been through trauma, it locks it in. And so taking care of yourself and even the simplest form of mind, body, spirit will get you moving forward and get you on your healing journey. It allows synchronicity to start. Once you start that healing journey, it allows synchronicity to come in, and the things that you wished and hoped and prayed and dreamed of will start falling into place, right? Um, who are you? That's one thing I ask my clients all the time. Who are you? Not just why you're here, but who are you? Who do you want to be? What can you do to get there? What do you need to do to get there? What needs to heal to get there? Um, that's really some of the questions I'll ask my clients, because it's like they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get rid of this. I don't know who am I? You get to be whoever you want to be. You get to clear the crap out of your energy field, out of your mind, out of your body, out of your spirit, and become who you're meant to be and who you want to be. There's such, in my opinion, the negativity that's in the world today is more of a pandemic than anything else, because people have a very hard time treating each other with the love and respect that we all need and deserve. Everybody has a hard time not just asking for help, but accepting help, because we are told, nope, you got to do it on your own. No, you don't. You don't have to. That's why there are so many, in my opinion, so many healers, readers, people that are here to help, and counselors, of course. I mean, I give so much credit to the counselors in the past that have helped me. Even though I felt they couldn't do it, I think, no, you're wrong. But nope, they weren't. So, um, what is it that you guys, how many of you guys, okay, let me ask you this. How many of you guys feel that we are in a spiritual war right now? Oh my God, look at that. That's awesome. Well, you're aware of it. You're conscious. What are some of the things that got you guys, if you don't mind me asking, what were some of the things that had happened to you to make you think, oh my gosh, I get to choose? What got you started on your healing journey? How many of you are in your healing journey? Yeah, I mean, it's becoming more and more prevalent. Well, yeah, prevalent. Um, was there anything in particular that happened? awesome. That's awesome. Yep. How about you? Anything in particular that happened? What made you become aware? What made you come today? It made you aware that you're on your healing path and you wanted to learn more.
Well, I'm deeply interested in home improvement. So I guess I've been on that journey for a couple of years now. I spent a lot of time reading, the more, well-known authors and podcasts and all of those people. But I got to a point where I wanted to feel it in real life with real people.
Awesome. And there's more and more of us, isn't there?
Isn't there?
There is.
I had no idea.
Yes.
How cool.
Yes. It's kind of like we all sprouted out of somewhere, huh?
Apparently, I love when I hear that hippie mumbo jumbo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the hippies back in the early '60s, I mean, they were the first ones. I think they back then, my opinion, they were on the right path.
Exactly.
They were totally on the right path. They got it.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's what I need for. So I try and meet people that are more of that age, that era,
Yep.
that have that level of spirit.
That's awesome. How many of you have found your tribe?
Some
Ooh.
I'm finding them.
Yeah,
They're
you're
not
finding
all
them.
together, but
How do you
they're
know?
out there.
How do you guys know who your tribe is, or how to find your tribe, or what your tribe looks like? Okay, your tribe. I have a beautiful tribe that I never thought I could have in my life. But these are the people that are going to love and accept you unconditionally.
Yep.
They're the ones that are going to say, hey, you know what? I understand what you're going through. Or they're going to hold space for you and say, you know what? There's no judgment. There's no judgment. Let me help. Let me listen. And just even the fact of talking about things that are bothering you, they're going to be, it's going to remove that energy. It's going to relieve that stress. And, stress is nothing we should be hanging on to. So finding your tribe is super important. You can always discern and empowering.
So empowering.
Yes, very empowering. So finding your tribe, I mean, discernment. I say optimal discernment if you can. Recognize the people who love and accept you as you are, who support you. Not the ones that, oh, you're crazy. No, you're not. It's not about being crazy. I've had a lot of my clients come up and say to me, am I crazy? And they tell me what happened. They would say see spirits. They would feel things. They would know things. And they'd be asked, am I crazy? No, you're just waking up. That's all you're doing is waking up. Okay? Fostering that awakeness and diving into it and learning about it is a beautiful way to love yourself, because that's who you truly are. That's who we all are spiritual beings having a human experience. So loving yourself and saying, you know what, I'm just going to go down this path, and I'm just gonna, discover what I can discover. I don't care what people think. That's loving yourself. That's standing in your sovereignty. Standing in your sovereignty is huge, because that's honoring who you are as a spiritual being and a person in this lifetime. There's not enough sovereignty. I don't think people understand that they can stand in their sovereignty and they can love themselves, but yet be loved and accepted by other people. Sovereignty is who you are. It makes you who you are, and feeling good about it and loving yourself about who you are.
Do you believe that you can't really love anyone else till you first love yourself?
No. Mm-mm. Nope, I don't believe that, because you know what? I have a cat. Right? I have kids. I believe love is everywhere. And you can love another person and not know how to love yourself. Especially a lot of us how many of us are empaths? Do you know what an empath? Oh yeah, we go. We know how to love. We feel love, even though we don't always feel it and do it for ourselves, right? That's the hardest part. I mean, because like I said, the programming you see on TV, the radio, the music we listen to, the different hertz, that it's that programming, that you gotta follow in line, and you gotta do this. No, you don't. You gotta do what the heck you want. People don't like it. That's okay. Stand your ground, and say, this is who I am. And you're loved for it anyway, right? Yeah, I mean, love is everything. When I do a healing on my clients, and I clear lost souls, I clear the ones, we're down here on earth and heaven's up here, and they get stuck in between. And I tell them, there's only love and a loving place to go to. There's no such thing as hell. Hell is self-created. And when you're not loving yourself, you're sitting in that hell because it's self-created, not intentionally, right? I mean, who wants to create their own hell? Nobody wants to sit in their own hell, right? But when I do a clearing, I tell these lost souls, there's only love and a loving place to go to. Everything's going to be cleansed and purified through the tunnel of light. I mean, you think about if you have a big issue, is it, and I tell my kids this, is it going to matter in 5 years? Usually they'll tell me no. I said, why are you wasting 5 minutes on worrying about it? When you can see the big picture and you can see beyond and say, this doesn't matter right now, even though I understand your thoughts, feelings, and emotions about it. But if it's not going to matter in 5 years, most people forget things in 5 years. I mean, some days I forget things in a day, a month. Yes. You walk into a room and you forget something, right? So self-love is something that not only we all can do, and we all have done. I mean, we've all loved ourselves in a certain way, and I probably didn't even realize it. But it's just accepting who you are. It's accepting your journey. It's accepting the bad things that you went through, whether you want to or not. But it's that acceptance, that level of acceptance of to say, okay, I went through this process. I went through this terrible thing, but it's okay. It's part of my path. It's part of my learning, part of my growth. Okay. Self-love too, for me, is just enjoying the simple things in life. I mean, when you can give gratitude for every single thing you have and being happy with it, the material things don't always matter. Sometimes they do, but even the material things, if you can find, gratitude in what you have, that can be enough. That can be loving your life, loving your house, loving the people in it, loving the fact that you have certain characteristics that make you up who you are. That's a beautiful thing because we're not all supposed to be the same. We all have different things that we work on, that we do, that we are, So it's just being able to stand in your sovereignty and having the strength and courage, finding the strength and courage to stand in your sovereignty and loving yourself and not, giving into the negativity of what people say. People's opinions are, in my opinion, a dime a dozen. I mean, we all have them. Not that I'm not trying to disregard anybody or anything, but I'm just saying that we can take people's opinions with a grain of salt, and we can stay in our own sovereignty and love ourselves and be happy with ourselves, be happy with our life, strive for the goals that you want to reach and the objectives that you want to reach in your lifetime, and which are really in return the lessons that you're meant to learn here. I'm a firm believer nobody gets to come down to earth and have everything easy and scot-free. That's just not possible. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. Our soul is meant to grow and learn things and ascend in a positive way. Definitely. Any questions? Oh. Ask me anything.
Started you on your journey.
Oh my God, here we go. Got tired of feeling like crap. Got tired of walking around feeling like crap inside. When you grow up in an alcoholic drug infested world, there's not a whole lot of love, there's not a whole lot of support, there's not a whole lot of, anything. Not that, my parents only did what they knew to do. Okay, so it's a generational thing. So a lot of times when you have parents that, only do what they were taught to do and didn't, weren't able to do different, that's generational, that's programming, that's ancestry, that's in your actual DNA. And those are the hard things that I knew when I was 18. I had my oldest daughter, and I wasn't going to raise her like that anymore. I wasn't going to raise her. I didn't want my children feeling like I did growing up, not feeling loved, not feeling worthy of anything, right? So that's how I got started, definitely. And when I found out that you can go see a healer and shift that energy, oh my God, that was way better. Because it's like you can have a healing with a healer, and that energy will shift. instantly better and understand why you weren't feeling good in the first place. What the emotion was all around it. Everything's emotion. We are emotional beings, our spiritualism, that's what we're here to learn. So when you think of any fear, any guilt, any shame, anything like that, those are emotions. And when your body and your mind are saying, okay, you've got some negative emotions here, that's the first place you want to dive into. You want to dive into those emotions and say, why are you here? What's behind this emotion? Why am I feeling the way I do? And that's hard. A lot of people have been taught to be scared of their emotions. They're just emotions, whether they're good or bad. They're not anything, it's whatever you resonate with that gives the energy to the emotion. Does that make sense?
So what if you just an average person and you would love to learn more and be able to do more of this? How do you even start?
To become a healer and heal yourself?
Well, to heal everybody.
To heal well, you could pick your modality that you're interested in. All right? My teacher found me, and along with all my other colleagues. And the modality that we practice is a little different than Reiki, just because we do work at a DNA level. Now, quantum physics actually proves that we are multidimensional people living in multidimensional lifetimes, all at the same time. Yes. So pick a modality, you know, learn what your chakras are, what they're used for. Learn what the gifts are. And that's most important, is learning what your gifts are, I think. That's a great way to start, because there's at least 8 different clair modalities or clair senses that we as humans have. And people don't realize that every single person in this world can be a healer. Every single person in this world has these gifts. Every single person in this world can heal themselves, mind, body, and spirit. But I say educate yourself. If you're hungry, and I tell my clients, get hungry. Get hungry for your healing. Get hungry for creating that life that you want to have and the feeling you want to have with it. That's huge, because the more you create the positive vibration of love, acceptance for yourself and for others, that's when synchronicity really comes in, and that's when things really fall into place for you, and that's when your higher self saying, hey, we're going for this, right? So yeah, check out different modalities, check out your clair senses, make sure you understand what the clair, and you can, all the stuff that you can Google. Google's a beautiful thing. Yes, YouTube's another one. Yes, I mean, you can Google YouTube, Google this stuff. Meditation. I tell if you don't know how to meditate, you can, yep, YouTube, or there's all kinds of different meditations on YouTube too, or at least get you started. My favorite one that I did was the Ho'oponopono. Have you guys heard of that one? Hmm. Powerful. I mean, if I'm feeling something that I can't shift, I can't understand what it is, that's my go-to meditation, because that'll shift my energy like right now. Oh, yeah. You stop by my booth over there. I'll give you a homework. Because I give.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. It's a ancient Hawaiian meditation, but it's very powerful. Another one, but visualize. I mean, if you guys can visualize what you want to happen in your life, I mean, that's just as powerful too. It's creating. They say we create our experiences. So if you're not in a good spot right now, what's creating that experience? Is it the thoughts? Is it the emotions? Is it the body not feeling good? What's creating that experience? And that's usually when you can shift that energy, by being conscious of that and moving forward. But definitely check out the different modalities. I mean, there's so many out there. I'm also a life coach. I feel that toxic energy is, narcissistic abuse and trauma recovery is what I love to do, because it's that negative energy that keeps people stuck. It brings on the depression, it brings on the PTSD, it brings on the complex PTSD, and it's something that's really, really hard sometimes to overcome, you know. So, always ask for help. I mean, I know society says don't ask for help. Oh, you don't, and they criticize and ridicule and judge, and ask for help. Always ask for help. There's somebody out there that's going to give you what you need in that moment and help you
I was
move
just
forward.
recently told that God is one of the worst parts of codependency is that inability to act it out.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I would have never put that all together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still processing
Yes.
that. But
Yes. And that's very true. So when I give my clients homework, but there's also books that I recommend for them to check out too. Okay. One of the first books that helped me understand negative energy in society right now, and it's called Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men. Now, it's not just about men. Even though Lundy Bancroft, he's the author, he interviewed over 2,000 domestic abusers over on the East Coast to get this book together. And let me tell you, it's very informative. But it also talks about the history of, how society has not helped these little boys, you know, feel, cry, and they become angry and whatnot. So, fabulous book. It also talks about society, in that book towards the end. The other one is called The Boundary Boss by Dr. Terry Cole. She's fantastic. She's actually got YouTube videos on YouTube. She's a relationship psychologist, but she's got this book called The Boundary Boss, and it talks about codependency in that one and how we don't always put the boundaries down, which is another act of self-love, is putting boundary down to people that if they're not treating you right, if they're not, doing right by you, or gaslighting you, or hurting you in any way, shape, or form. Fabulous book on how to learn to put your boundaries down and strengthen that inner core of who you are. It really is. Yeah. Let me see. There was one other one I was going to mention. Oh, trauma. If you have PTSD, the body keeps score. Yeah. So I see you guys. A few of you already read that. Yeah. Fantastic book by Dr. Vanderkolk. Um, he interviewed Vietnam vets and really come to understand them and how the body, the negative energy and war and just all of that will stay within the body. Our bodies are very dense. Our bodies want to hang on to everything, even though we're like, no, we don't want you to hang on to everything.
so spiritually, then when I went through clinic school, I did a lot of EMDR work.
Yep.
Is that something spiritually that's also?
Well, you think of, I think that's more, in my opinion, body, because there was, my trauma that I went through in my lifetime. I did two rounds of EMDR treatments, and they're fantastic. But they help my mind, they help my body. So, but it's still tools. These are the tools that we have available to us right now. Okay, so more tools that we have available to us. How many of you like healing stones? Yeah, you use healing stones. I call them gifts from Mother Earth. Those are just beautiful. Sage, another tool. Anything that you can educate yourself with, anything that you can use to help give you energy or help you get clarity, tools. We've got vendors offering tools, to help us along on a journey. Books are tools. It's not being afraid to educate yourself and to not be afraid to dive into what is hurting you, hurting the heart, hurting the mind, hurting the body, hurting the spirit. It's that strength and that courage to go forward and just say, I'm just done feeling like crap and walking around. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions before I wrap up? Yes, sir.
At the beginning of your presentation, you said that you were involved in healing with art.
I do. So, okay, so let me see how I want to explain this. We'll start from the beginning. We're in a spiritual war, right? We got God, we got Lucifer. He's the father of dark arts, right? Whether you believe it or not, that's the dark arts. And so, which is also transforms into negative energy. So, negative energy can be not just in our mind, body, and spirit, but it's also on our ancestral timelines. Okay, we've had many generations before us, that had practiced dark arts. So what I do is I send them back to the light. So my modality allows me, to send them back to the light with love, it's something that it's energy. That's all it is energy. And people think, oh, that's scary. Don't you get scared? No, it's just energy. That's all it is. just giving it love. I mean, when you give somebody or something love, do you see how it transforms that person or that animal or whatever? You know what I mean? There's nothing more powerful than the power of love, in my opinion.
Yes, ma'am. Woo.
That's right. So it's really whether you're conscious or not, and there's a lot of people in this world who are not quite conscious yet of having dark arts in their energy field, in their body, in the system. Not that they mean to intentionally be harmed. You know, we call them lesson givers sometimes.
What about like the natural
Mhm.
art system, or what about like current day influences?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Well, entities, right? You know, if we have a haunted house, there's entities. Those are lost souls, I think, stuck on the earth plane. You know, we can have entities locking in that negative energy. Or, yeah. What's that?
Or like people creating or fun,
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, you think of Ouija boards. Mm-mm. Nope, never want to play with it. Never wanted to play with a Ouija board. But yes, that's when you can. If you don't understand what you're doing, a lot of times you can draw them in. When you're sitting in a really negative state of being, you can draw them in because they feed off of that negative energy that you're reliving. If that makes sense. So when I do a healing on somebody, I ask to pinpoint and encapsulate all dark magicians. Those are the ones that like to really lock in the negative energy, entities, perpetrators, lower realm plasma, which is lower level energies in lower realms. And I pinpoint and encapsulate them, and I remove them. I send them back to the white light. And I make sure I tell them the contracts are complete. You're all done locking in, so we're just gonna go bye bye. So I kind of take a no nonsense approach to it, just because it's only energy, and that's not good. It's not bad. It's what it's presented as. It can be, negative, but I mean, a lot of times it's our interpretation of what it is. Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay. Um, Curses and spells. How many of you guys know what curses and spells are real? Yes, they are. When I do a healing, I ask for curses and spells, formal and informal. Do you guys know what an informal curse is? I hope to get a flat tire on the way home. Cancel, clear, delete that thought. No, I want nobody to get a flat tire, but go to hell, right? That's an informal curse in a way. Okay? Words are important. Words are really important. Um, so I clear those two, and I bring in the most optimal positive light to transmute them and reverse them. None of us need to be carrying that around in our energy field. So, any questions? I appreciate you letting me ramble. I appreciate you letting me just get here and talk. And yeah, hopefully we can answer each of your questions. But yeah, just love yourself by being conscious of what it is that you're doing. Allow yourself to feel good. There's a lot of people in this world that don't even allow. I didn't know how to allow myself to feel good. That's what got me, really one of the things that got me started on this healing journey, because I wanted to feel good. I wanted to feel like I mattered. But not a lot of people feel like they matter in this world, and they do. Everybody's here for a reason. We're all one piece of the puzzle in the collective, right? So I thank you for letting me ramble and allowing me to get up here, even though I didn't know what I was going to talk about. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're going to take a break. I'll wrap it up again in about a half hour. We'll have one more short talk, and